You know, I heard it was between me and Meryl Streep and The Situation. So thrilled and honored. Thank you so much. I have to say, I can't believe that I'm in a room with Mr. Mark Rydell, because you are such a huge part of my story. I grew up in San Diego. We were not rich at all, sort of lower middle class. I was not a tall, thin, blonde woman. I didn't really look right. I had no training. Our family didn't, you know, it was just not the ideal situation to become a person in the movies. But I fell in love with a woman named Bette Midler from The Scream because, yeah, you can applaud for Bette Midler. It was the first time that I had seen someone who actually looked like us, that was a movie star and a music star. And but on her own terms. She didn't make fun of herself like the other women who were allowed to be funny were only allowed to be funny if they somehow put themselves down, and she did not. And I was just transformed by her and became a sycophant stalker fan, like a crazy fan. I would jump on pianos at concerts and run backstage and try to find her, and I dressed up like a bunny once to give her a singing telegram. She later stole and did in the movie Beaches. She was a singing telegram bunny, which was me, and went to her house in New York and scared the woman who lived. I was a crazy person and was really inspired by her, and saw the movie The Rose, which you're absolutely right. Should have not only won an Oscar, but everything else. So one of the best films ever. And when I was 21, my friends got together and they rented a theater in San Diego. And this is not a group of kids with a lot of dough. And they rented a theater and they said, we're going to do a showing of The Rose for you because you've seen it 400 times. And I thought we were all going to watch it together, and the greatest thing was they all left. And I got to go in the theater by myself and sit there and dance and sing and scream and cry every song by myself for my 21st birthday. It was the best birthday present ever. So thank you. It's an honor being in the same room with you. End of the story. Well, hope not the end yet. Still got a couple more good years. Although I have this great, horrible thing on my back. The end of that story is that I got a call in 1990 from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was then the head of DreamWorks, right? DreamWorks? Yeah. And said, Kathy, I would like for you to star in a movie called Hocus Pocus, playing Bette Midler's sister. Is that a good story? I never got to tell that story, and you're right here in the audience, so thank you so much for your absolute genius. I am, like Mr. Rydell said, a really blessed, lucky person. I didn't really come from much, but I had this really strong point of view and will, and kind of didn't give a shit what people thought, so just kept going, even though they sort of said, you don't really look how you're supposed to look, you didn't come from where you're supposed to come from, but I didn't care. And I was just, had a passion and was very inspired. And a movie you're going to see tonight, I've been an animal rights activist for a long time. I always find it so interesting when people say, why animal rights? You know, the animals don't really have thoughts or feelings or souls or hearts. And it's just, you know, we all know, I hope we all know that when you see the film that you're going to see tonight, which are The Last Elephants of Thailand, you can look, there's actually the star of the movie is an elephant named something. When you look into this three-legged elephant's eyes, you will see more heart and soul and feeling than you can ever imagine. And I'm such a fan of this movie. A couple years ago, my husband was at our chiropractor, and he said, so what are you going to do tonight? And my chiropractor said, I'm going to take my son to the circus. And Dan said, oh my God, that's so funny. Kathy's taking Samia, our daughter, who's 14 now, but was 8 years old at the time. Kathy's taking Samia to the circus. Well, what he didn't know was when he got to the circus, it was my daughter and I picketing out front, please don't go in the circus. He was so sweet, he felt so bad. I got a free crack out of it though. I got an adjustment for free. But the quick story of the film that you're going to see tonight is that there was a man named John Talo who went to Thailand expecting to do this documentary on elephants. There's one elephant animal hospital, and what he found there was a world of torture and abuse and sadness, but also a lot of hope in the form of a woman that you'll see who heard about the plight of the elephants, who at the turn of the century, there were 100,000 in Thailand, and now there's 5,000. And you'll see why, I'm sure you can imagine why, because of trade and greed and people using animals for their own profit. But he there meets these wonderful people, and this one woman, Dan and I were watching the other night, and I was literally just sobbing because I thought, she saw this problem, and she was one person, and she thought, well, surely I can't stop the plight of elephants. And guess what? She made a huge, huge impact. She dedicated her life and her time and her love, and she opened up this hospital, and she got all these other people really interested in it. And I hope you enjoy the film that you're going to see tonight as much as I did. I want to thank the Bel-Air Film Festival and all of you for being here, and all the other honorees. It's such a pleasure, and I'll see you at the next one. Thank you.